So the Dred Scott case. Everybody has heard about it, but nobody remembers the details of it. Well, you're going to learn all about it in today's episode. I'm Joshua Roberts, attorney at law, and you are watching Lawyer Up. Today, we are going to continue looking at epic Supreme Court cases. Today's case is the Dred Scott case from 1857. We're going to take a look at the parties. We're going to take a look at the facts of the case. We're going to take a look at the Supreme Court's decision. We're going to look at its reasoning. And then we're going to look at why that case is epic. And in this case, is it because it led to revolutionary civil rights changes in the United States? If you enjoy the video, I'd ask you to hit that like button. If you got something to say, comment below. If you want to learn more about epic Supreme Court cases or legal topics in general, then I'd invite you to subscribe to the channel. And if you've got friends that are interested in this kind of subject matter, I'd ask that you share me with them. So without further ado, let's talk about the Dred Scott case from 1857, a long time ago. The parties were Dred Scott, of course. He was an African-American slave that was living in the United States. Now, he wasn't a party, but a relevant person to this case was Dr. John Emerson. Now, he had passed away, but he was the former slaveholder of Dred Scott and his family. Now, John Sanford, who is the defendant in the case, he was the executor of the estate for Dr. John Emerson. So the facts of the case were this. Dred Scott and his family, as an African-American, he sued for his freedom and that of his family because his owner, Dr. Emerson, had moved them from a slave state to a free territory, and they had been living there for over 4 years. So after Dr. Emerson passes away, the executor comes along, and he was essentially trying to return Dred Scott and his family back to Missouri. It was a case that was heard in Missouri, treating them essentially as an inheritance. And Missouri was a slave state at that time. So Dred Scott filed suit and argued that he had been living in a free state for 4 years and that he and his family were a free people, which makes perfect sense. However, when the Supreme Court took a look at it, the decision ruled against Dred Scott in what has been considered one of the worst decisions in the history of the Supreme Court. And they ruled 7-2, reasoning this way, that African Americans were not citizens of the United States and thus could not even bring a lawsuit in the court system. They never even reached the analysis or the decision as to whether a slave became a free man if he was moved to a free state. They simply said Dred Scott was not even entitled to ask the question. And that's it. That's the extent of the Dred Scott case. And as I said, it's generally considered the worst decision of the Supreme Court in its history. So people say, well, what makes this case epic then? Why is this case significant? And there's nothing about the case itself that makes it epic. What is epic is the response to the case. This case was effectively overruled by 3 constitutional amendments to the U.S. Constitution. The 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in all states, that was passed in 1865. The 14th Amendment, which guaranteed equal protection under the law to all U.S. citizens, that was in 1868. And then the 15th Amendment, which prohibits denying citizens the right to vote based upon race or color. That was in 1870. And that is what makes this case epic. A disastrous holding led to landmark civil rights amendments protecting the rights of U.S. citizens everywhere in the United States. And that's the episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, smash that like button for me. If you got something to say, put it in the comment sections below. If you'd like to hear more epic Supreme Court cases or legal information in general, subscribe to the channel. And as always, I love it when you share me on social media. My name is Joshua Roberts, attorney at law, and you've been watching A Lawyer Up.
Send lawyers, guns, and money.